credit that poor people need. Insurance. In some ways, insurance is probably more important to the poor than credit, because they live with, as you all know, risk, whether that be drought or crop failure or any kind of external shock. So insurance has to be a thrust area for us as well. In so doing, we'll be able to bring in the full range of financial services that the poor need. Now, we believe at SKS that the best way to bring about that environment is to do it through vibrant competition. We feel that the poor are no different than the middle class, than the wealthy, and that they deserve to have choice, that they deserve to have many different MFIs coming to them and saying, here are our products and services, here are our costs, and give them that opportunity to choose. So it's delightful to see so many MFIs represented in this room today, because it's with that kind of competition, the kind of competition we've seen in India in the telecom sector and the airline sector, that has resulted in reduction of prices and improved services, that we need to see in microfinance as well. We see on our own work, when we go into new areas, oftentimes we might have a lower interest than somebody else, and they'll drop their interest, in fact lower than ours, and we'll have to drop our interest. And this kind of efficiency, this kind of competition ultimately is going to be best for the poor clients that we're working with. Now, having said that, we also know that there are areas where competition has certain unintended consequences that hurt the poor. And as much as we believe in vibrant competition because it'll benefit the poor, I think we also need to step back as a sector and say, look, how do we do this vibrant competition in the right way so that we are not over-indebting a client, so that we're looking at her true needs. And I think we can do this in a way that doesn't divide up the country and say, okay, this is your turf and this is ours, but rather in a way that if we stick to our processes and our policies, that we in fact will be able to do this in a way that works for the poor. If we are the fourth or the fifth MFI in the area, to think carefully about whether it makes sense to lend to a particular borrower before doing so. If we follow our own policies and processes, I'm confident that we can have a competition that works for the poor and avoid the unintended consequences of an unhealthy competition. I also think that we're at a particular moment in India where if we do this right, if we have competition that protects the poor, that there's a great moment in India with the new government in place where microfinance can be institutionalized and supported in a way that it hasn't been to date. Certainly with the efforts of SIDBI, Mr. Bridgman is here, and SIDBI is one of our sponsors. A lot of government support has gone into bringing the sector to where it is. But today, when I hear in the last campaign, Rahul Gandhi actually used the word microfinance in his rural campaign speeches, that's a significant moment for us. And language does matter. The fact that the Small Medium Enterprise Ministry has now added the word micro enterprise is a significant thing for us. There's a moment, there's an opportunity that if we do this correctly, we will get support from this new government. But if we do it in a way that doesn't protect the poor, in a way that isn't focused on financial literacy and transparency, that same government will be opposed to us. And here I don't mean to be bipartisan and talk about just the UPA government. Even the opposition, the BJP, has reached out to us, SKS, and I'm sure to others in the sector. We work with opposing parties in different states or ruling parties in different states. So both elements of the government, whether at the center or at the state, are ready to reach out and are looking for ways to genuinely empower the poor. And if we lead our sector at this critical moment in the right way, we can institutionalize microfinance in a way that truly empowers the poor. I think if we do these types of things, we'll be able to finally expand the promise of freedom, of economic freedom, for those who've been left behind. Thank you.